Hey gang, welcome back. I know a few of you have been waiting for this video for a while here. I said in my first one I'd make another one to show you some more tips and tricks on my Echo Choice Heatilator Cab 50. So let's get started with a few things I want to show you here. For the people that recently purchased this, probably some of you will be having issues with the flame. Either it'll be too low or it'll be too high. I have pellets in the hopper here, so I'm not going to be able to point this out to show you where my setting is. But down there's a control rod. Let's go over here to the paper here that I have with this. I don't know if you can see this or not. But down in here is the hole where the pellets go in. Here's the slide rod. And when you get this stove from the factory, 9 out of 10 it's going to be completely open. And that's not the way you want to go. You're going to find out that this rod is almost completely closed, maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 way up, slid up a little bit. That's about as far as you'll go, and I have perfect flame height with this. When it was open all the way, it seemed like it was out of control. It burned really high, then the flame would go all the way down. So, like I said, I have this open maybe from where you slide this down, where you can see that thumb screw there. Okay, all the way down, maybe 1/8 of an inch from the cutout there, barely open. Anyway, it's going to take some experimentation, and you'll figure it out. You'll get a nice flame that hangs around 4 inches out of the pot like mine, and pretty steady. Okay, let's move on. After you have this stove for a while, you're going to find out you're going to have an issue with the bottom of the burn pot here, where there's a plate. Hopefully you can see this. Where there's a plate in there, and that's where the pellet sits on the bottom. Let me open it up and show you what I mean. Okay, right there it is. Let's see if we can get a better idea here. I'm trying to point here to the back. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the bottom of that plate. What happens is from the clinker sitting on there and the high heat, that plate will get really corroded, and with the buildup on it, it gets very difficult to slide that rod in and out. I started to have issues with it, like on my third burn season. The rod got, even though you clean it and poke around in there, it still builds up pretty heavy. So it can get pretty difficult. Anyway, it's not a bad procedure to clean this. Let me tell you how to do it. Okay, right here, the first thing you're going to have to do is this screw here that has your heating element in. You're going to have to loosen that up. Slide the element out. You can pull the wire out from up in here and push that element to the side. Now you'll have access. There's 2 rods in there that bottom plate slides on, and 4 tension springs with little retainer clips on them. Okay, what you're going to need to do is take the front 2 down, and then you'll have to go to the back, and they are quite difficult to get back in here. They're quite difficult to reach, but you'll pull them out, and that whole assembly will drop down. One other thing here is this rod that it's connected to out here. There's a clip inside here. It's pretty hard to see all of this in the dark, but there's a clip inside here. It holds the rod on. You'll have to take that down too. Okay, now you'll have access to that plate. Remove it, and what I did, you'll find out it's really got a lot of buildup on it. What I did is I got a drill with a wire wheel on it, and I just wire brushed it really good. Some sandpaper to like smooth it out, and on the bottom of the burn pot there I took some fine sandpaper, just went around where that slides true to that one. It moves back and forth in there. After that, you can turn around and put 1 rod in the corner, the hardest one, and then put your plate back on that. Try to get your other rod in the back there up. Once you get them 2 on, the front one's a breeze. They just go right up there. Like I say, it's going to take you a while. It's really not that difficult. There's not much involved in doing this. It's just a hassle with the springs on there, but that's what's needed to keep the tension up there for that bottom plate to slide in there underneath the burn pot. Like I say, you'll find it difficult in a few seasons because they build up. Once you clean that off, man, they slide like butter. You'll be amazed. Okay, one other thing I want to point out here, we got to go to the back of the stove. What happened here last season is I turned around and had trouble with the reset switch. Now, first of the year I plug it in, I hit the reset switch to feed it, and the switch stuck in. Let's take a look down here, see if you can see it. Right there it is. Okay, they come with, it looks like some kind of a Chinese knockoff switch. Very, very cheap plastic. Let me give you an idea what it looks like. Right there. And of course I ruined this one here. But anyway, it had to be replaced. Now, these aren't your ordinary switch that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. I had to order this off the internet. This is a normally closed switch. Most of the switches you find are normally open. So this has current running through it all the time, and it interrupts it. And what you're going to have to do, if you need to do this, you're going to have to turn around and drill a little bit larger hole to accept the new switch. The hole's too small. So I did. It's not a big deal. I did that. You'll have to cut the 2 wires from the old switch, 2 wires from the new switch, and I just put wire nuts on them and tied them up. Switch is much more heavy duty than this one. Here's the package it came in. It's probably really difficult to see this, but if you need it, you could probably Google that and see where I got it from. Pretty hard to see this here, but it's 3 amp, 120 volt, 1.5 amp, 227 volts AC. Okay, like I said, it's normally closed, or you'd say normally on. That's what you want. You can't turn around and have one that's open. It needs to be normally closed. Trouble down the road, give me a shout. You could turn around and leave me a message at FIXITALL for you too at gmail.com. That's fixitallforyou2 at gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to give you help on this. I do have a complete service manual for this, but stove's been very reliable. Have had no issues, so I really haven't gotten involved needing to troubleshoot anything. Okay, gang, that's about it. When the burn season's over, we're real warm here in the Northeast this year. I haven't burned many pellets so far, but at the end, I'm going to show you how I clean this up, and I'm going to pull that rod down and show you how I do it. So if you own one of these things, might be a little help for you there, answering any questions you might have. Okay, till then, have a good one. Cheers.